This is CTV, Canada's official network of the Olympic Winter Games.
Tonight on Late Show with David Letterman, Dave's guests are Dan Rather, actress Penelope Ann Miller, and the musical group the Gin Blossoms. That's later tonight on Late Show with David Letterman. Dwayne Ward in the dugout. He'll face Duncan, Kruk, and Hollins in the bottom of the ninth, but first it's Bobby Thigpen trying to keep it a one-run game for Philadelphia. In the top of the ninth, making his second appearance, he pitched in last night's ball game. And he's in with a strike. 1-1 on Carter, who's 2 for 5. A single and a run scored in the first. He doubled and scored in the 8th. It was Carter who started the 6-run rally last inning. With the 1-out double, he scored the first of the 6 runs. Only twice in World Series history has a team come back to win after overcoming a deficit of 5 or more runs. And the Blue Jays, if this score stands, will have done that. They were down 14-9 before they got the 6 in the 8th. 1929, the A's overcame an 8-0 deficit to defeat the Cubs 10-8 in Game 4. And in 1956, the Dodgers overcame a 6-0 deficit to defeat the Yankees 13-8. Carter, base hit. It'll go for extra bases in the corner. A leadoff double for Joe Carter, his 3rd hit of the night.
And hit number 17 for the Toronto Blue Jays. The 31st hit in this ball game was crushed down the left field line. There have been an awful lot of balls, to reiterate, hit on the fat part of the bat tonight. I can't think of a bat that has been broken all night. Matter of fact, not too many balls hit off the trademark. Even the outs have been hit hard.
Olerud, 1 for 3. He's walked twice and has scored twice. One hit a single off David West in the 6th. Sharply hit to second. Duncan to a knee to throw him out. And Carter takes 3rd with 1 out.
John, you mentioned the Dodger comeback being down 6-0 and winning the game 13-8 in Game 2 of the 1956 series. Don Larson started that game, and he gave up the 6-run lead in the 2nd inning, and then 3 days later came back to pitch the perfect game. The only perfect game ever to be pitched in World Series history.
Paul Molitor, the batter. He hit the ball down the left field line past Hollins, that was scored an error last inning. And he scored a run. He only has 1 hit officially. The ball last inning should have been his 2nd of the night. Infield in for Philadelphia. Can't allow another run. Already trailing by 1 in the 9th. Thigpen from the stretch. Good pitch, sinking movement on it. 0-2 on Molitor. Fernandez is on deck. Tommy Green started. He went 2 1/3 for the Phillies. Then Roger Mason, David West, Larry Anderson, Mitch Williams, and now Bobby Thigpen, the 6th pitcher of the night for Philadelphia. And he just missed.
That ball appeared to be inside. Dalton setting up inside, and the tailing fastball was indeed way inside under the arms of Molitor.
Now the 1-2 ripped foul. Molitor hit it hard, but he was well out ahead of it.
He is so quick on that ball inside, and still hits the ball away effectively the other way. Great plate adjustment.
In the dirt and dug out by Dalton with the runner at 3rd. To short. And they won't get the runner in with that one. Molitor hit a BB, but right at the shortstop stalker for the second out of the ninth. Coverage of the 1993 World Series is produced by Bob Degas, directed by Bob Fishman. The associate directors Steve Shear and Pete Macheska. The coordinating producer of Baseball 93 is Eric Mann. Baseball 93 is produced by George Veras. The senior producer of CBS Sports is Ed Gorin. The executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile. And we tip our cap to those gentlemen and our entire crew tonight for staying on top of 500,000 or so developments in this ball game. Fernandez tries to bunt, and he pushed it foul to the Toronto dugout.
The only time tonight that Fernandez has been up and has not been in an RBI situation, his third time, and that's when he led off the inning. He is an RBI in 4 of his 5 plate appearances tonight, with 5 total.
One shy of the single game World Series record. Bounce foul. 0-2. So Thigpen can get out of this, having surrendered the leadoff double to Carter. If he can retire Fernandez and perhaps give Philadelphia a little bit of a boost. Obviously, it's a downcast Philadelphia dugout with the recent events. The 6 runs by Toronto in the 8th inning. The 0-2 is inside. Thigpen has dominated the one-on-one rivalry with Fernandez. Tony 0 for 12. OJ dugout knows it would be a big hit if Fernandez could deliver. And he fought off a tough pitch.
That can be a deceptive stat, however. 0 for 12, but that was when Thigpen was throwing very hard. Fernandez going to San Diego and then the New York Mets over the last several years. So that 0 for 12 came when Thigpen was at his best. Not throwing anywhere nearly as hard as he used to.
The 1-2. Chop to second. Duncan throws him out. So it's a one-run game as we go to the bottom of the ninth, and we'll return to Veterans Stadium after this message from your local station.
Watch the world's biggest event on CTV this winter, the Olympic Games.
This is the office where our Ford truck engineers get a lot of work done. Because by knowing firsthand how a full-size pickup ought to work, they can make it work even better. That's why the Ford F-Series now has a new standard airbag, standard anti-lock brakes, and constant ideas to make tough even tougher. More proof that at Ford, we're looking ahead and looking to stay ahead. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
The way my kids go through clothes, I need low prices. Zellers has everything I need for my kids. That's why I shop at Zellers. Great selection, low prices.
It's Kids Week at Zellers. Stroller only $119.97. Disney bedding set $41.97. Safety rider car seat $64.97 with Zellers coupon.
Zellers has really helped me stretch my family's budget.
Kids Week at Zellers. Only at your store. Zellers, 'cause the lowest price is a lot. Every day.
You know, with their low prices on kids stuff, the free Club Med rewards, why shop anywhere else?
There are some things parents will never hear.
Mom, would it be okay if I went to bed early tonight?
Things that would be too good to be true.
Would anyone mind if I vacuum the stairs?
Luckily, some things are good and true. Like the McDonald's family-sized pepperoni pizza. Smothered in cheese and pepperoni for only $5.99 or 2 for $10. Every day.
No dessert for me, Mom. I don't deserve it.
The family-sized pepperoni pizza. It's a parent's dream come true.
Sean McDonough with Tim McCarver back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, heading to the bottom of the ninth. The Toronto Blue Jays trying to protect a one-run lead. And they have Alfredo Griffin in at third now, replacing Paul Molitor. We're at a very uneventful night, starting at third base. And he's grateful for it. Jim Fregosi, John Vukovic, have Mariano Duncan, John Kruk and Dave Hollins. Meat of their order coming up. Batters 2, 3, and 4. Against Wayne Ward, who came on last inning and struck out Lenny Dykstra on a called third strike with 2 outs and the bases empty to end the inning.
And they were playing the Rocky theme here at Veterans Stadium, and you remember that famous scene between Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa in the 15th round when Rocky said, "What about a rematch?" And Apollo said, "Not going to be any rematch." Well, there is going to be a rematch regardless of what happens. That'll be tomorrow night. Game 5.
And if this score stands, Cito Gaston and the Blue Jays will have a chance to win the World Championship tomorrow night. Mariano Duncan, 3 for 5 singles in each of his last 3 times up. He's knocked in 1, scored 1, and had a stolen base. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Fernandez in shallow left, 1 out. Toronto pitchers have combined to retire 6 in a row. John Kruk has not been a part of the story tonight. 0 for 4 with a walk. Ball 1 outside. Ball 2 outside. Check swing, a strike over the outer third.
You know, it's a long game when John Kruk has run out of bubble gum.
Ball 3 up and away. And now Ward is in danger of walking Kruk and putting the tying run on base and bringing the winning run to the plate. Pitch. Big hack by Kruk. He was trying to tie it. You hear Eisenreich say base hit. He'll be happy with just a hit. Kruk was trying to tie it with 1 swing. Now the 3-2. He fought it off. Tough pitch by Ward, blown away from Kruk. Another 3-2. And another foul ball.
Day before the series started, Sean, Dwayne Ward telling both of us that in a game-winning situation, he would be it would be unlikely for him to throw a breaking ball to a left-handed hitter. And sure enough, he has thrown 7 straight fastballs to John Kruk.
Strike 3. Kruk called out on a pitch on the inside corner. And the Blue Jays are 1 out away from victory in Game 4.
Ward had been staying away, and he jerks this fastball over the inside corner. Kruk diving out, a tailing fastball, and you can see how Borders frames the pitch. Very close. Looked like it was 2 or 3 inches inside. Rarely, if a catcher has to cross the plate, does he get a strike like that. The Borders did.
Now Hollins, high fly to center. It'll stay in the park. Devon White makes the catch. And the Toronto Blue Jays have won the highest scoring game in postseason history to take a 3-1 lead into the World Series. They'll have a chance in Game 5 tomorrow night to win their second consecutive world title. The final score, the Blue Jays 15, the Phillies 14. We'll have more in a moment.
Join CTV as the world's youth assembles in Lillehammer for the Olympic Winter Games.
There are some things parents will never hear.
Mom, would it be okay if I went to bed early tonight?
Things that would be too good to be true.
Would anyone mind if I vacuum the stairs?
Luckily, some things are good and true, like the McDonald's family-sized pepperoni pizza. Smothered in cheese and pepperoni for only $5.99 or 2 for $10. Every day.
No dessert for me, Mom. I don't deserve it.
The family-sized pepperoni pizza. It's a parent's dream come true.
Your lunch, sir.
Thanks, Wilfred.
Wilfred! It's coming, sir.
Right on, dude.
No problemo, sir.
Heinz, it just doesn't taste the same without it.
Toronto Blue Jays with 6 runs in the 8th inning came from 5 runs back to win the highest scoring game in World Series history. 15-14 the final. It is also the longest World Series game of any length in terms of innings. In terms of time, the length tonight 4 hours and 14 minutes, surpassing a 12-inning game, Game 2 of 1973. The Chevrolet player of the game is Devon White. He had the game-winning hit, a 2-run triple that capped the 6-run 8th. One of his 3 hits on the night. He drove in 3 and scored 2. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 in the name of Devon White to the Special Olympics. Now let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, we're down here, Sean, with Devon White. Devon, you guys were down 14-9 in the 8th inning. Did you think the game was over?
In a way, yeah. They were swinging the bat well, and our pitching, couldn't hold him down and let him die straight. He was so hot.
Then you come up, bases loaded. Were you trying to hit them all around, or were you just trying to make contact? What was going through your mind?
The first swing I took, I was trying to drive them all in, and he threw me a slider, and I hooked it foul. And then after that, I was just trying to make contact, drive some runs in, and he threw me a backdoor slider, which was a good pitch. I just happened to put it in play in the right spot.
Devon, great game.
Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs to Sean.
It was indeed a great game for him and for baseball fans everywhere. Tonight on The Late Show with David Letterman, Dave's guests are Dan Rather, Penelope Ann Miller, and the musical group The Gin Blossoms. That's later tonight on The Late Show with David Letterman. Now for Tim McCarver, Pat O'Brien, and Jim Gray, Sean McDonough saying so long from Veterans Stadium. But the final score is Toronto 15 and Philadelphia 14. You have been watching CBS Sports coverage of the 1993 World Series. Joe Carter and the Toronto Blue Jays will take the field tomorrow night here at the Vet with a chance to win the World Championship. We'll see you then. Good night, everyone.
This has been a special.
Pitchers weren't throwing that bad. Both hitters on each side of the plate were just seeing the ball well or something, because both sides were hitting everything you threw up there. It didn't matter what you threw, where you threw it, everyone was hitting the ball.
Was it that the hitters were so on, or just nobody, no pitcher just about that took to the mound could get it done, at least in the early going?
Well, I think once a hitter gets a little confidence going, like both teams did, it's tough to shut them down, even with good pitching. I don't think our pitching really was that bad. Just their hitting was that good, and our hitting was that good.
I know that we've talked about it a lot of times before with the Blue Jays, but even down 5 runs, this kind of game, did you think, hey, we can come back, just the way things have gone in the past, and certainly the way this game was going?
Well, just because we were scoring so many runs and they were scoring so many runs, I felt like that we were still in the ball game no matter how far we got down. It was just that type of night where everyone was seeing the ball. Like Mitch Williams, he came in with great stuff. You just got to give credit to some of our hitters.
Great. Thanks, Pat. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jays catcher Pat Borders. Now back to Sports Desk.
All right, thank you, Rod. Rod Smith with last year's World Series MVP, Pat Borders. And tell you, the way Devon White is swinging the bat and the clutch times at which he is delivering hits, Joe Carter mentioned many of them 2-out hits. I think Devon White has got to be the leading candidate for MVP tonight. triple, double, single, almost the cycle, and the triple, a huge one in the 8th inning, knocked in the tying and the go-ahead run.
The other thing is that Tony Fernandez, I remember sitting on this show, Sports Desk, talking about what a bad move it looked like to pick up Tony Fernandez. Well, he had 5 RBIs tonight. That's one off the World Series record. As for Jim Fregosi, you talked about him not being happy with his pitching staff. Let's find out what he had to say just a few moments ago.
Well, we just didn't score 20 runs. We just didn't have anybody that was throwing the ball real well, to be very honest with you. Tommy came out and he did not throw the ball well, and we tried to get some innings out of Ariat. Mason threw the ball well, and everybody else just did not have good stuff.
Have you ever been in a wilder game?
Have you ever been in a wilder game?
I think it might just go down in the annals of one of the all-time games for a World Series game. It's unbelievable.
Another question for Jim in the back.
How much does your strategy change in a game like this as opposed to a 2-1 game?
How much does your strategy change in a game like this as opposed to a 2-1 game?
Well, I knew we were going to have to score a lot of runs. Every time we had a chance to score runs, I took that chance. Because our bullpen has been a little tired. They were used up last night, and of course they were used up again tonight. So it was a difficult game, and it's a tough game to lose.
Another question for Jim. What will you tell your players to shake this loss off?
Well, they got to go out and play tomorrow. I mean, that's all they. We're what's that old saying? Our backs are to the wall, so to speak. We have struggled in middle relief most of the year. We have scored enough runs to overcome that. Thought we might have scored enough tonight, but it didn't seem that way.
Any last ones for Jim? Yeah.
At what point in the game did strategy take a back seat? I mean, the bunt was used effectively, generated a large number of runs in a very strategic inning, but then at what point did you...
Well, I didn't bunt. He bunted on his own. He bunted for a base hit. Eisenreich did. I did not bunt. I don't bunt.
Here. Is this game a numbing experience for you?
No. I've seen games like this before. Usually it's a ball game. Whoever has the last at bat usually wins. Unfortunately, we had the last at bat. We didn't get the job done.
Phillies all season long have prided themselves in being able to come back. They have spoken about it freely. They say we don't get down. Well, if they can come back from this and win the World Series, they would prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that no team in history has been able to bounce back like them.
You can just see the angst in Jim Fregosi's face. I'll be surprised if they can bounce back at all. Let's go back down to Veterans Stadium now, where Rod Smith is standing by with possibly the MVP of the 1993 World Series if things continue the way they are.
All right, thank you. Devon White with me now. Devo, have you ever seen anything like this before in your career, not even at the major league level, any level?
No, not at all. Not in a World Series. I mean, I've seen it during the course of the year, but not in a World Series.
Tell me about that 8th inning and your at-bat in particular, because it looked like no matter how many runs either team fell behind, you knew it was going to be close in the end.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we were down so many runs, you know, we kind of, not as a team, give up, but, you know, me being in the outfield, it was like, hey, well, you know, come back tomorrow. But we kept battling and battling. And in the 8th inning, bases loaded, 2 outs, and I was up. I was trying to leave the yard first pitch, but I hooked it foul. And after that, pretty much, I just tried to put the ball in play.
Yeah, thank you very much, Devo. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Devon White, the Blue Jays. Now let's go back to Sports Desk.
Imagine the cockiness on the part of those batters. He said, I was trying to leave the yard with the first pitch. He pulled it down the left field line. It bounced foul by about that much. And those of us that were watching, we were actually on Sports Desk at the time, but I was catching a glimpse on the monitor. I was thinking, that's it right there. And it looked like a double that would have scored 2 runs, but he came right back. And Devon White really rewarding Cito Gaston. I mean, Gaston took a lot of flack for putting him in the 2-hole behind Ricky Henderson. Well, he has come up absolutely huge for him. And as you say, he is performing like an MVP. Too early to talk about MVP, but he's certainly performing like one.
And we were talking earlier about Tony Fernandez and the acquisition from the Mets, giving up Darren Jackson, who seems like a forgotten person now. Tony Fernandez, a key role in this game, 5 RBIs, and Tony Fernandez was addressing the media at Veterans Stadium. Let's go back to the podium and take a listen to what Tony Fernandez had to say about one of the most bizarre games ever in World Series history.
Game in a big situation like this?
Well, not really. You know, I've never been in this situation before. This is my first time. It was a big blessing for me tonight.
Ed?
It's almost unbelievable to think that early part of the season in New York that this is the same
Is it almost impossible for you to think back to the early part of the season in New York and think that this is the same year?
Yes, in a way. Yes, it's been a weird year for me. But God works in a mysterious way, and He had a plan for me, and that's why I'm here.
Another one? Yes?
You were hitting the ball all over the field tonight. Everybody was hitting it. Was there just something in the air? I mean, did the ball just look like a big grapefruit?
You were hitting the ball all over the field tonight. Everybody was hitting it. Was there something in the air? Did the ball just look like a big grapefruit?
Well, not really. You know, it's just one of those nights where when you as a hitter just hit everything. You know, sometimes it's a pitcher's night, and tonight I guess it was a hitter night.
Another one? Is there anything? Yes?
Tony, you've had a pretty good postseason. Is there anything that happened late in the regular season to get you on this kind of
You've had a very good postseason. Was there anything that happened late in the regular season that got you on a roll?
Not really. You know, I think I finished with a good season during the regular season. So yes, I didn't expect it to play this well, especially hitting. But like I said before, it's been a big blessing for me from God.
Okay. Do you realize you have 9 RBIs with just 1 extra base hit?
Do you realize that you have 9 RBIs with just 1 extra base hit?
No, not really. I don't have time to think about that. Thank you.
Okay.
That's kind of your game. You're pretty you sprayed all over, so that really isn't that unusual.
Well, I guess so. You know, I never been known by a power hitter. You know, I always been able to make contact, and especially with men on bases. I know that I'm not going to hit too many balls out of the park, so I just try to make contact and do the best I can when I'm hitting with men in scoring position.
Steve?
Just wondering, Tony, if having seen these pitchers for a year or two might have helped you.
Has having seen these pitchers for a year or two when you were in the National League helped you?
Familiarity, yes, you know, because I'm a little bit familiar, but I don't think that that's in my advantage because they know me too. So it works both ways.
Here. What kind of a confidence builder is this for the team to come in a wild game like this, to come from behind and win?
Oh, it's always great, you know, to come back from behind and in that kind of ball game. And at one point in the game, you know, it looked like they had the game, you know, in their hands. And suddenly the momentum turned around. So shift over to our side. It was just shifting off and on. And finally we got the best out of it.
Okay, last question because Devon White is waiting. He's here. Yes. Did you still have confidence, believe you could come back when you were down 5 runs?
I think we did. I think everybody was pretty confident. I mean, that we wouldn't score 5 runs. Nobody was sure of that. But we knew that we can keep pressing on a little bit at a time, and then we would have been able maybe to just tie the game or come ahead, and we did came ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Tony. We've got
Tony Fernandez with 5 RBIs. If you have any Otrivin, those are nose drops, please send them to Philadelphia and get them to that lady real fast. We're zipping back down to Philadelphia, not for her, but for our Buck Martinez. Buck, you wanted to be a broadcaster, and I'm going to fire a tough question at you. How do you explain this? Baseball, they say the hardest thing in sport is hitting a baseball. How does something like this happen? Take it away.
Michael, every once in a while, every time a pitcher throws a ball, it works its way back over toward the middle of the plate, and that's what it looked like tonight. Early on in the ball game, Charlie Williams, it looked like he was having a little trouble with the strike zone, and pitchers were getting into hitter counts, and when that happens, generally you can see the bats come alive. Remember, we've got a couple of real good hitting ball clubs in this series, and no one expected the pitchers to be that dominant, but I don't think anyone expected anything like this, of course, a record-setting night here tonight in the Vet.
I enjoyed your conversation with Joe Carter. It was something that I don't know whether a lot of broadcasters or fans would acknowledge, but judging by what you and Carter were both saying, you felt that West was throwing at Paul Molitor?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that he was trying to hit him, but he certainly wanted to make him uncomfortable because Molitor has been wearing him out. And when I was catching, one thing I always used to try to do was make a hitter move his feet because then he loses perspective in the batter's box. By doing that, it takes him a pitch or two to get comfortable again. West was trying to definitely run something down and in, and he caught Molitor on the knee. I think the ball players, as you heard Joe Carter express, took exception to that, and it kind of woke him up. It was a slap in the face, and they said, wait a minute, you can't mess with our Molly. We're going to turn our bats loose, and that's what happens. Generally, the 8th inning is trouble for the Blue Jays, but tonight it was their big inning. It turned the game around, won the game, and the Phillies just couldn't stop the flood.
Buck, it's Brendan. You've been catching a long time before you joined us as our broadcast analyst. Have you ever seen a pitching staff so incapable of finding the right formula to get out of an inning as the Phillies? That they used everybody possible and still couldn't get the job done.
Well, Brendan, at times in my career, I've had the same kind of night behind the plate when you try to figure something out and nothing works. You throw a good pitch, they flare it over the infield for an out. You make a bad pitch and they hit it up the alley for extra bases. So, yeah, I've been in these situations before, but of course, this is the World Series, and not many people are ever going to forget about this game tonight.
Certainly not a characteristic World Series game by any stretch of the imagination, not a pitching duel. What can the Phillies do, or can they bounce back in the next game? You didn't get to see it because you're doing Blue Jay coverage here, but we saw Jim Fregosi on the podium, and he looked pretty down. I don't know how these guys can bounce back tomorrow. What do you think?
Well, let me tell you something. This is a club that's got a lot of character. They were questioned all year long here in Philadelphia. Fans kept bringing up the '64 Phillies and when they lost the pennant right at the last week of the season. But I don't know if they've got enough to bounce back from this. Tomorrow they've got Kurt Schilling on the mound. They're going against Juan Guzman. And the Phillies haven't seen the real Juan Guzman yet. So if he can come out here tomorrow, set the tone in the first inning and crank up that fastball, it could be ultra demoralizing as early as the first inning tomorrow.
All right, thanks for the analysis, Buck, and we will continue our coverage at Veterans Stadium, the postgame coverage here on TSN's special postgame show. And again, not a well-played game. It won't go down the annals of World Series history as a wonderful game because it was sloppy at times and terrible from a pitching standpoint. But if you're a Blue Jay fan, I guess you got to like the outcome.
Well, one of the keys, of course, was Mitch Williams. He was the Philadelphia reliever, the stopper who didn't stop, and he talked moments ago in the dressing room about the Blue Jay offense.
No big secret. I mean, he hit the ball. They hit the ball. Everything they hit seemed to find a hole. Nothing you can do about it. I didn't get him out.
Mitch, did you have problems with the mound because of the wetness and all that?
I had no problem at all with the mound. It felt fine. I just didn't make the pitches I needed to make to get him out.
Have any problems with the umpire strike zone?
No. I had no problem with it. The guy I walked.
Mitch, was this a night when it just was a batter's night? Even when you made good pitches, they found a way to hit them?
I don't know. I guess so. I mean, take a look at the score. Obviously, it was a hitter's night, but there's no excuse. I'm not going to sit here and say the mound stunk or the weather conditions were bad. Nothing bothered me. I felt fine. I just didn't get them out.
Mitch, did they hit good pitches or bad pitches? The pitch to Henderson, I thought was a bad pitch. It was a low ball hitter.
The pitch to Devon White, I didn't think was that bad a pitch. I haven't looked at it on replay, but I think the fastball was up. He got the bat on it. I'm trying to get him out up.
Mitch, this team has always come back when everybody's ready to write it off. Obviously, that's the way you guys have to feel tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we got to come back out here and play hard. Hopefully we can win tomorrow and get the series back up in Toronto, like I said.
Mitch, your job is obviously a job that people look at very closely. How tough is it for the closer in a game like this to lose a game like this?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, it takes the series from being 2-2 to we're down 3-1. If I get the job done, we're tied at 2. And the series is completely different. But I'm not going to go home and sit up tonight and worry about the fact that I didn't get him out. I didn't get him out. It's happened to me before. This just happens to be the World Series, and there's going to be a microscope on everything I do. So I don't have any excuses.
You say you got a short memory, and you need a short memory to do the job. How long will this last?
As soon as I walk through that door. I mean, I leave my job here at the field.
Still the toughest loss of your career?
It's a tough loss, yeah. I mean, I've never lost a game in the World Series. So, yeah, this is the toughest one.
Does this game compare to anything? Have you ever seen a game like this?
Yeah, I've seen where they fight and battle back and all that. But 6 runs in the 8th inning, there's no excuse for that. I don't care who's pitching.
You did have some.
Well, Mitch the Wild Thing Williams looking as if he's dressed for a hunting trip there and probably hunting for some pride after that performance in the 8th inning where he just allowed the Blue Jays back in the game and then gave up the big triple to Devon White that scored 2 and sent the Blue Jays ahead. A 15-14 victory for the Blue Jays in Game 4 of the World Series. A wild game. And Cito Gaston's got to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief after that.
Well, Cito Gaston just a few seconds ago talked about the big victory.
Of your career?
Well, you know, you certainly, it goes right along with others that we've had, especially last year, the last game of the World Series. And like I've been saying all all year, these guys, they just never quit. They just keep coming at you, and of course the Phillies are the same way. You guys seen that tonight too, so that's why these two teams are right here playing in the World Series.
Another one?
I asked Jim Fergosi this question, and I'll ask it of you also. Is this the wildest game you've ever been in?
Is this the wildest game you've ever been in?
I would say so. It's pretty wild. Just about everything happened, and I think it was quite entertaining, quite long, and it sounds like Phillies caught a cold out there anyway.
Yes, more. Anything else for Cito? Yeah, Danny.
What was the reasoning for allowing Castillo to come up?
What was the reason for allowing Castillo to hit for himself?
Well, our bullpen's a little short. We went with 12 guys all year, and I just about know what my guys can do out there, and I didn't want to come back with Coxie, and didn't really want to use Icon at that particular time, so it was just kind of forced to play it that way. And of course, he struggled, but just something you have to suck up sometime and take and do, and that's what we did.
Okay, one more.
Very typical Cito Gaston there, I think, in a lot of ways, just taking it very calmly.
They have scheduled Juan Guzman for game number 5 tomorrow in the World Series. Dave Stewart not scheduled to pitch till game 6. They may not need him. Here's Stewart's reaction to tonight's game.
That's what I'm saying. Tonight I was a fan, man. I'm sitting there, man. I'm going just like the fans would be doing in my home park, man. I'm watching them and ooh, and then ooh, It's a roller coaster, man. That's an exciting game.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Never. That's my first ball game ever being involved in a game like that, let alone seeing one like that. I've never seen one like that before.
With the missed day, did it seem a little bit surreal almost? Like you couldn't believe what you're looking at?
I saw what I was looking at, man. That was a well-played offensive ball game. There was nothing that could spoil that ball game. Mist, rain, it could have poured, and thunder could have hit the mound. It would have been a good offensive game. The thunder would have added to it.
He's laughing. The Blue Jays are laughing. The Phillies definitely are not. This wasn't just the highest scoring game. You got to turn it up a notch and say they demolished. The old record was 22 runs. 29 scored in this one. The Jays scored 15 runs without the benefit of a home run. Every Toronto Blue Jay had a base hit in this game. At least every starter did.
Okay, so can both teams bounce back and get down to some serious baseball in game number 5? Do the Phillies have anything left? Kurt Schilling will go for them tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Juan Guzman will go for the Toronto Blue Jays and try to clinch another World Series.
It was a wild one, and we'll have more on the wild one and the like on Sports Desk at 11 o'clock Pacific. For Brendan Connor, I'm Michael Landsberg. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
You're watching TSN, the sports network, coast to coast. Industries, the trucker's best friend.
Live on STV, this is Sportsline.
No sunshine, no pitching. Phillies and Blue Jays go out in Game 4 of the World Series at the Vet in Philadelphia tonight. Kings and Lightning going at it. All the family, the Gretzky clan, skating for opposing forces. And the Toppers are gearing up for the Rams and another shot at a Prairie Junior Football Conference title.
Hi, everyone. I'm Peter Lubardius.
And I'm Roger Glaze.
Also tonight, we take a page out of the local boxing book. Big D takes on Montreal at the Forum, and the Saskatoon Blades start their western swing in Kamloops.
But before all that, we'll go to Sportsline Trivia. Here's tonight's question. Who holds the record for the most innings pitched in a World Series game? Nobody pitched tonight. First correct caller at 665-6958 wins a prize from Sportsline. And when we return to Sportsline, we'll go to Philadelphia. Brace yourself. What a night it was. The Jays and Phils Game 4 of the World Series coming right up. The first 5 callers with the correct. Another day of clouds and rain in Philadelphia, but the Jays and Phillies took to the turf at Veterans Stadium for Game 4 of the series. The Blue Jays could put the death hold of the Phils with a win as they entered the evening with a 2-1 lead. Paul Molitor's .545 batting average was good enough to make Cito Gaston change his mind about the starting lineup prior to the game. Originally, Molitor was to sit out in favor of John Olerud and Ed Sprague. But Sprague's anemic batting average at this point changed Cito's mind. As well, Gaston put his hopes with Todd Stottlemyre on the mound. Foolish error. error. Hoping for a gem from his inconsistent right-hander, didn't get it. He would face 16-game winner Tommy Green, who threw for the Phils. Any pitching in this game? None. We'll pick it up first inning. Bases loaded, walk to Molitor, run scores, and that makes it 1-0 as Henderson comes across. Tony Fernandez comes up. Next batter singles into right field. That'll score White and Carter. It's 3-0 Toronto in the first inning. Looks like a Jays rout, right? Wrong. I'll prove it to you. Bottom of the first. Todd Stottlemyre. Bases loaded. Walk to Jim Eisenreich. Phillies' first run. Milt Thompson comes up next. Rips a shot deep into right field. Right, make that left center field. Devon White, spectacular catch? No. 3-run score, in fact. 4-3, the Phillies lead after an inning of play as he empties the bases, and the Jays' lead is gone. We'll pick it up a little bit later. Todd Stottlemyre trying the base pass. Sit on the bench, Todd, please. Get out of the game. Tries to go first to third on a single by Alomar, and is thrown out. He runs like me. Does a 40 in 4 years. You're gone. Bottom of the second inning, more action for the Phils. We'll explain why. Runner on for Lenny Dykstra goes deep. Line shot, a rope inside the foul pole. A 2-run home run, and it is 6-3 Phillies at this point. Pick it up later for the Jays as Todd looks battered and bruised and bloodied and was as Tony Fernandez comes up. Singles into right field. Had a huge game, having a huge series. And it scores Olerud 6-1. Molitor hangs at third. Pat Borders comes up and unhangs Molitor. Single into left field. Ball scores. It's 6-5. That's it for Tommy Green. He gets the hook. Yike. Still in the third. Devon White slashes one into right field. Bases loaded. Scores Fernandez and Rob Butler. The young Canadian comes across. It's 7-6 Jays. It's over, right? No. Just started. Bottom of the fourth. Mariano Duncan bloops one into right center field. My goodness, Dykstra scores. It's 7-7. Top 5. Great defense for once in this game. You're going to see it. Henderson chops one. Duncan with a great one-handed play. Glove to first base for the out. Henderson's out of there. Bottom of the fifth, more offense. Why not? You missed it, didn't you, for that 10 seconds? Darren Dalton up, man on, goes deep. Home run. Inside the foul pole, a 2-run shot, 9-7. Philadelphia. Then Milt Thompson comes up. He did damage earlier in the game. What's he do this time? Pete? Damage. Well, exactly. Line drive, double down the left field line. It'll score Jim Eisenreich, 10-7. Philadelphia. The bats go wild. Any pitching in this game? Absolutely none. No. Dykstra then comes up, and what does he do? He crushes another home run. A 2-run blast deep into right field. Into the seats. 12-7 Philadelphia. The game's over, right? No. Let's fast forward now. 8th inning. 14-9 Philly. Bouncing ball. Hollins, error 5. Molitor rips one down the line. Carter scores. It's 14-10. Next batter comes to the plate. Who is it? It's Tony Fernandez. Did I tell you he was having a great night? Yeah, I did. And here's why. Singles into left field. Scores Olerud. It's now 14-11 as the Jays comeback continues. Henderson up. Drops one into center field. Dykstra could have had it. Choked on this play, I think. Molitor, Fernandez score 14-13. Then Devon White, known for clutch hits in the playoffs. What's he do this time? Off Mitch Williams. The wild thing was no thing. Tonight, as he hits one to the wall, it's a triple to right center field. Borders scores. Henderson comes across. A comeback is complete. 15-14 Toronto. It's over. They go wild. This was nuts. What a game this turned out to be. 15-14. The Jays take the series lead 3-1. My goodness, a wild 6-run, 8th inning. Fernandez, World Series record for shortstops, 5 runs batted in. He has 9 in the series. That is also a World Series record. 29 runs, a new record, smashing the old 20 mark of 22 set by the Yankees and New York Giants in Game 2 of the 36 series. And Fernandez had this to say at game's end.
You know, always being able to make contact, and especially with men on bases. I know that I'm not going to hit too many balls out of the park, so I just try to make contact and do the best I can when I'm hitting with men in the scoring position.
Whatever you said, I agree. My goodness, what a night. Guzman, 2-0, can wrap it up. The Jays' second consecutive World Series. First time since the New York Yankees beat, was it the Dodgers? Yeah, in 78. Back-to-back. Philadelphia goes with Curt Schilling, but I think the Phils' hearts are broken. Somebody said sweep last night.
Ahead on TSN Sports Desk. What a game.
Little looper. Long run for Dykstra. In right center. Can't get it. Borders around with the tying run. Henderson to the plate with the go-ahead run. 15-14 Toronto.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Makita Canada Incorporated, Canada's leading manufacturer of professional power tools.
Hi, everyone. Welcome again to TSN Sports Desk. I'm Brendan Connor, and Wednesday was one wild night. NHL, yes, some football, some tennis news, but topping everything by far was one of the most unbelievable games in sports history. Specifically, we're talking about the World Series game in Philadelphia between the Phils and the Blue Jays. They call the World Series the Fall Classic, but Wednesday's Game 4 in Philadelphia was anything but classic. It was, in fact, the most bizarre game anyone can remember. It was full of bad pitching, amazing hitting, comebacks, letdowns, more comebacks, records for time, for runs. It was unbelievable. Let's tell you the story from the beginning as we take you to the vet. And another misty night, and Paul Molitor was inserted at third base. So talking to Ed Sprague there, maybe about some advice on third base. Phillies fans trying to get pumped. The Jays get the quick start again on this night, though. Key play in the first. Joe Carter scorches one to third. Dave Hollins with a great play, but his throw to second, not in time. That loaded up the bases. And then with 2 outs, Paul Molitor draws the base on balls from the starter, Tommy Green. That forces home Henderson, 1-0 Toronto. The very next batter, Tony Fernandez, will slap one into right field. That'll score 2. Devon White and Joe Carter both come in to count. And just like Game 3, the Blue Jays lead 3-0 after their first at bat. But the fans at the vet, not about to throw in the towel, because you got to believe when it's the Phillies. Jays starter Todd Stottlemyre, bottom of the first, ran into some serious control problems. Bases loaded walk to Jim Eisenreich. That was the 4th walk of the inning. 3 in a row. That's World Series record material. 3-1 for the Blue Jays. And a look in the Blue Jays bullpen shows that Cito doesn't have anybody warming. Some of the Phillies faithful just hoping for a big hit for Philadelphia to get back into it here. And Milt Thompson delivers, hammering a Stottlemyre pitch deep to center field. Devon White makes a great try but can't get it. A bases clearing triple. Bottom of 1, the Phils are in front 4-3. A base running blunder for Stottlemyre. He gets aboard, tries to go first to third, out by a mile, and look at the slide. He does a face plant and grinds up his face, dazed for a minute, cut, comes out to pitch in the second inning, probably wishes he hadn't. Lenny Dykstra touches him for a line drive home run into the right field seats. 2-run shot. Second inning, it's 6-3 Philadelphia. But the Jays come right back in the third, down 6-5. White singles into right field. Tony Fernandez and Rob Butler, who had hit for the pitcher, come in to count. The Jays ahead again, 7-6. Then Al Leiter is called on by Cito Gaston to shut the door on the Phils. He did the job in Game 1, picking up Guzman, but in this one, after 2 innings of not bad work, in the 5th, game tied at 7, Leiter gives up a deep home run to Darren Dalton with a man aboard. 2-run blast, 9-7 Phillies. 5th inning. The Phils would build their lead to 14-9 and take it to the 8th. The Jays added 2 more runs, though, and Mitch Williams was called in. 5 outs to go, and the Philly fans know they're in for some fun. 14-11 Phils, and 2 out for Ricky Henderson, who lines one to center field. Is going to drop in front of Lenny Dykstra. That'll score 2. Molitor and Fernandez coming in. The Jays have closed it to 14-13, and the hot-hitting Devon White, also with 2 out, delivers to the gap in right center. It gets past Lenny Dykstra. The Jays go ahead 15-14. What a bizarre game, and here's the bizarre run count. The Jays score 3 in the first, 4 in the third, and then nothing until the 6th when they count a couple, and then nothing until that 6-run 8th inning, 15-14. Bottom of the ninth, Dwayne Ward facing Dave Hollins with 2 away. He gets Hollins to fly out to right center. Devon White says, yahoo, this one is over, and the Blue Jays win it. It was a long one, 4 hours and 14 minutes. That's a new World Series record for a 9-inning game. And when the smoke cleared, 15-14 for Toronto. Unbelievable comeback. They came back from 12-7. They came back from 14-9. Stottlemyre and Green, the starters, were awful. Timlin came in to be around when the Jays went ahead. He gets the win. Williams takes the loss. Dwayne Ward with the save. And the teams set a record for most runs in a World Series game with 29. The previous record was 22. Dykstra with 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. Fernandez with 5 RBIs. But the Blue Jays win Game 4. 15 runs, no home runs. They lead the series 3-1. And TSN's Rod Smith has this report.
So much for no DH in the National League ballpark. In this game, everybody was a designated hitter. Even the pitchers had a better night at the plate than they did collectively on the mound. This major league version of a sandlot game saw many an ERA rise and many a record fall, including most runs scored in a major league playoff game.
I think it might just go down in the annals of one of the all-time games for a World Series game. It's unbelievable.
That was a wild one, but I'll take it. There for a minute, I didn't think we were going to be able to come back, but when they dropped that 5 spot on us. But, you know, our hitters just were patient, and we got into their bullpen, and, you know, David West, he's a good pitcher, and, you know, he got his out. You know, he hadn't had an out before, you know, 91, and he got an out tonight, and, you know, he was still in there, and we still, you know, beat him up a little bit, you know, and that helps. It always helps to, you know, get into their bullpen, and I don't think they're a bad bullpen, but that may be their weak spot.
The win erases, I guess, win erases everything, because at this time in the year, to me, that's the most important thing. But by no means am I satisfied. I'm not going to forget tonight.
All year, these guys, they just never quit. They just keep coming at you, and of course the Phillies are the same way. You guys seen that tonight too. So that's why these two teams are right here playing in the World Series.
You know, this is you know, a terrible loss. You know, everybody's kind of down about it, but tomorrow's another day, and we've rebounded all year, and it's really going to take a tough one this year.
Tonight I was a fan, man. I'm sitting there, man. I'm going just like the fans would be doing in my home park, man. I'm watching them, and ooh, and then ooh, it's a roller coaster, man. That's an exciting game.
Pitchers weren't throwing that bad. Both hitters on each side of the plate were just seeing the ball well or something, because both sides were hitting everything you threw up there. It didn't matter what you threw, where you threw it, everyone was hitting the ball.
And there's no big secret. I mean, he hit the ball. They hit the ball. Everything they hit seemed to find a hole. Nothing you can do about it. I didn't get him out.
I mean, we were down so many runs, you know, we kind of, not as a team, give up, but, you know, me being in the outfield, it was like, hey, well, you know, come back tomorrow, but we kept battling and battling. And in the 8th inning, bases loaded, 2 outs, and I was up. I was trying to leave the yard first pitch, but I hooked it foul, and after that, pretty much, I just tried to put the ball in play.
I really was just happy that I got out of that bloodbath without getting actual physical abuse. I was figuring, heck, I mean, they hit the heck out of the ball. Those guys, right? I mean, I knew that this was going to be one of those nights.
Well, something that I don't know if I'm going to be proud of it, but I'm going to cherish that moment, you know, cherish that moment for forever, I guess. I mean, for as long as I live, because nothing lasts forever. But this, by all means, this has been, you know, the greatest game of my career.
Somehow lost in the shuffle is the fact the Blue Jays are now just a win away from their 2nd World Series title. The Phillies, meanwhile, are now faced with winning 3 straight. Usually in baseball, 14 runs can win you 3 games. On this night, it wasn't even good enough to win 1. Rod Smith, TSN, in Philadelphia.
Thank you, Rod. So the Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead in games. They can actually clinch in Philadelphia on Thursday. They will send Game 1 starter Juan Guzman, who says, like the Chicago series, the ALCS, now that he's seen this team once and knows the hitters, he knows what to do. Curt Schilling, the Game 1 loser for Philadelphia, will try to keep the Phillies alive in the World Series. Okay, time for a short break on TSN Sports Desk as we catch our collective breaths. 29 runs in a World Series game. That is just wild.
This is a presentation of CNN Sports.
Coming up on CNN Sports Late Night, Game 4 of the World Series goes through the gamut of emotions. But this Philadelphia story did not have a happy ending. The Phillies drew blood early, but could not bear the ending. Bragging rights in the Gretzky clan for a night from the Thunderdome, but there was no keeping the great one down. Dennis displays his demolition due.
When people want to come out and they see something strange, and I like doing strange things.
A fashion don't from the Thunderbug, and a doggy dance too. Sports Late Night goes wild. Next.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Late Night. I'm Vince Cellini.
And I'm Nancy Newman. Thanks very much for joining us. And of course, we're going to talk about the World Series and what a game it was tonight in Philadelphia. Not exactly a defensive gem, but definitely a wild one and definitely a thriller.
Yeah, and the wild thing stepped up. You know, the Phils live and die with Mitch Williams, and tonight, well, died that slow death at the vet. And let's face it, the last time we saw this much contact in Philadelphia, Balboa fought Creed in Rocky I. On a misty night at the Vet, offense ruled, and fans were hiding their eyes as though shielding them from a car wreck, with Mitch Williams at the wheel in the 8th inning as Toronto rallied to win a pivotal Game 4 and take a 3-1 series lead. They'll be talking about this game. They will for many years to come. Both pitchers that started this game shelled. Tommy Green, 2 1/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 walks. Stottlemyre, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, and a bloody chin. We'll talk about that later. 4-3 Phils in the second. Lenny Dykstra takes Stottlemyre over the wall for a 2-run blast. 6-4 Phils, but we're just getting started. In the third, bases loaded and 2 out for Devon White. The Jays come right back, a 2-run single off Roger Mason. Fernandez and Butler score 7-6 Jays. In the fifth, tied at 7, Darren Dalton. What offensive slump. A 2-run smash off Al Leiter gave the Phils a 9-7 lead. Then Dykstra with his second of the game and 9th in postseason all-time for Nails. 12-7 Phillies, but no lead was safe with the Wild Thing. He came out in the 8th, 14-11 Phillies at this point, bases loaded, and Ricky Henderson with a clutch 2-out base hit to center. Molitor is in. Fernandez scores, and that lead is down to 1-14-13. Now the players can't bear to watch, and the fans have to turn away. We told you, runners on the corners. Devon White drives one to the right center field gap that just keeps going. Dykstra can't catch up to it. Borders is in to score. Ricky Henderson follows him with the go-ahead run, capping a 6-run 8th inning for Toronto. Dwayne Ward got the final 4 outs for the save, and the Blue Jays hang on to win this bizarre game 15-14. The Jays on the verge of becoming the first back-to-back world champ since the Yanks did it in '78. A commanding 3-1 lead with a chance to wrap it up on Thursday night. And some outrageous numbers in this contest. Longest 9-inning series game in history, 4 hours, 14 minutes. 29 runs combined, shattering the old mark of 22 set in 1936. 65 runs combined so far in the series, and the Jays becoming just the 3rd team in series play to overcome a 5-run deficit. The Wild Thing took the loss, afterward took on the media.
Nothing is affecting me on the mound. All that stuff is bull. That's all you people. It has nothing to do with the way I approach the game or the way I'm going to pitch. I don't care what anybody else does when I'm on the field. I go out there, I have a job to do, I try and do my job. If I don't do it, I'll come back tomorrow. But don't start trying to make excuses for me because I'm not looking for any.
Just can't do nothing about it, you know. We let it get away. Everybody knows that. You don't have to be a baseball genius to figure out we should have won that game.
The most exciting win I've ever been a part of, no question about that.
This game, I think, this has been the most excited I should say, in the 2 years I've been in the World Series.
Just one team would knock the other team down, the other one get back up and knock the other guys back down, and it was just it was a great game if you love offense.
So the Blue Jays now just 1 win away from becoming the first back-to-back winners since the Yankees. Joe Carter has been a key member of this championship club since coming over from San Diego. He had 3 hits tonight, one of which started that dramatic 8th inning rally with a 1-out single. Our Bob Lorenz spoke with Toronto's happy right fielder after the game.
Thanks, Nancy. Needless to say, it was not a pitcher's duel here at the Vet tonight. The 29 runs scored, the most ever in World Series history, blowing the old mark away. I think there was something like 800 hits in the game. Well, maybe not that many, but there were 31, and one guy is a good guy to ask about that is Joe Carter. Joe, a terrific victory for you tonight. What got into you guys?
I tell you what, it was your typical 1-0 ball game. It was like a slow-pitch softball game out there. I don't know what got into us. You know, we come to the ballpark, we came out, we had a great first inning, and you know, they came back, we came back. We've had games like this in spring training. We knew we could come back and win, but once they got to the 8th inning, we were down, what, 14-9. I think a lot of us turned our attention to tomorrow's game, and then all of a sudden Molitor got hit, and all of a sudden the wheels started turning. We got Mitch in the ball game, and he hasn't had the same velocity since the first part of the season. And the guys came through. Ricky with the clutch 2-out base hit, and then Devon White. I mean, he's had a heck of a postseason since he's been with the ball club. But to come through, I mean, 2 strikes and hits the ball in the gap, and Ricky's on first base and scores. I mean, this is just, I mean, it's totally unbelievable.
Let's be honest. You guys know you have confidence in your ability, but to come back from a 3-run deficit once and 2 5-run deficits, are you even blown away by that?
No problem.
Do it every day.
Yeah. I mean, you know, this ball club surprises me every day. But to go out there and come from behind like we did, I mean, Dykstra and Dalton And Kruk and all those guys over there, man, I mean, they put the ball in play. And, 14 runs, and if you say that you come to the ballpark, you're going to give up 14 runs and we're going to win, I'd say no way. But we hung in there, and that shows what type of ball club we got. We never give up. And by God, as long as we got a chance to go out there, there's still one out left, we feel we have a chance.
And you mentioned the next game, Juan Guzman goes in that. If he doesn't have a good outing, you got to do this all over again, probably.
Well, it'd be great going home with 3 games already up under our belt. But we're going to try to come out and finish it tomorrow. I mean, we don't care about it going, winning at home. We'll take it wherever we can. But this is by far the most pivotal ball game. We had a great ball game last year in the second game of the World Series with Spray's dramatic home run in the ALCS, and I think Game 4 when Robbie hit the 2-run home to tie off Eckersley. But I don't think any of them can compare to what happened tonight.
All right, Joe Carter, congratulations. Maybe you can come back from like 8 or 9 runs tomorrow and make it a little more interesting.
I tell you, I hope not. You can't take any more like that.
All right, thanks, Joe. Big victory, of course, huge victory for the Blue Jays tonight at the Vet. They can wrap it all up tomorrow. We will see what happens in that game. For now, that's it from the Vet. Let's go back to Atlanta.
Thanks, Bob. So here is the matchup for Game 5 scheduled for tomorrow night at Veterans Stadium. A rematch of the Game 1, Kurt Schilling versus Juan Guzman. Schilling was the NLCS MVP. Guzman, a perfect 5-0 career record in the postseason. But both these guys did get lit up in the opener. They do get another crack at it. But Vince, awfully tough for the Phillies to come back from this. Yes, they've got a lot of character, but still really, really tough.
Well, if you look back at the NLCS, when the Phillies trail 2-1 to the Braves, then Danny Jackson wins Game 4, and they never lose again. So this was a pivotal Game 4 for the Phillies, to be sure. And now they have to win 3 straight games in order to take the series, and 2 of those at Skydome. So that's a very tall order.
Definitely. And the Jays, through the first part of the season, yes, the pitching came on late, but however, the first part of the season had no pitching going at all. So won a lot of games like this with the offense. Then Pat Gillick, instead of getting pitching this year, got Ricky, and 1 through 9. Very scary.
Choose your poison. We'll beat you in close games or in blowouts like this. The Jays are awfully tough. All right, straight ahead on the late edition NFL news, the latest chapter in the story of why Daddy was docked. Oiler tackle David Williams lost a week's pay to witness the birth of his son. Williams, his agent, and an Oiler vice president have more to say on this subject.
And we'll travel to the Thunderdome, where all were treated to the sounds of